What's up, guys? This is the inaugural episode of the Motivated to Make a Difference podcast. And on the inaugural episode, we'll power of positive thinking with Zachy Ali from Inspire the Great. What's up, Zach? How you doing today?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. How y'all doing?
Great.
Great, great.
That's good
So
to
tell
hear,
our
man.
viewers a little bit about yourself and your stance on the power of positive thinking.
All right, so a little bit about myself. I'm 28-year-old East African man,
Mm,
living in Canada. I'm Canadian. Travel a lot. And basically I created Inspire the Great for us. Um, a lot of times we see a lot of stuff on Instagram and social media, and it doesn't really hit us that well, right?
mm, it
So
doesn't relate.
yeah, so we see a lot of Lamborghinis, we see a lot of lions, we see a lot of mountains with quotes on it. We don't drive a Lamborghini, we don't see lions every day, nor do we live at mountains.
Mm,
None of them don't matter to us. So I'm like, yo, let's make something thorough. Let's make something that's simple, white, that hits, and also let's put audio and video into it so that way they can listen to entertainment. Well, they think it's entertainment, but technically speaking, I'm reprogramming their subconscious mind every day. So
mm.
they might not know it in the moment, but that's what I'm doing over time. So I created Inspire the Great. It's been going very well. All praises to God. And now I'm just giving back, trying to get aligned with people, trying to tap in with people and network with people, going on their podcast, telling my story and everything about positive thinking. It's what changed my life. It's been like, it's crazy because we do a lot when we're younger and we don't know what it is. That
Mm,
was positive thinking for me, right? Like I would be thinking so positive that the next thing that happens is more amazing than the first.
mm.
Law of attraction. I was younger. So just things worked out. I had like my first job was when I was 13 years old. I was barely even legal. And then from there on, job to job, situation to situation, everything's working out for me because I'm not contradicting my actions or anything.
Mm.
I'm always speaking positive, thinking positive, always
Stay in
affirming
the
things to
line.
myself, right? Speaking life into life and everything. So it just kept going till I knew about law of attraction, law of vibration and everything. And it really changed my life and it continues to change my life. So the mind is very powerful. And that's the reason why I started my brand is to tell people about the mind, how powerful it is, and that we need to reprogram ourselves to get success and happiness and wealth and everything that we need. Because even if you get it and your mind is not reprogrammed, it won't stay for a while. So what
Mm,
happens is your mind starts reminding you of everything that you went through in your past. It's gonna tell you you're not good enough. Remember this situation, this situation. You're gonna start contradicting yourself and going about it the wrong way. So positivity is very important, man.
So yeah, I definitely agree with everything you're saying. Positive. I want to get on to what I'm about to say. So positive thinking absolutely changed my life, and it really started last year when I got on my spiritual journey and started to really work on myself and align with my purpose. So, like I was talking to Jaleel about this yesterday, and I used to be a very pessimistic person. I had low confidence in myself, and I didn't really, I had a pessimistic view about the world. And, I got to a point where I was just tired of feeling like that. I was tired of regretting not doing the things that I wanted to do. And I was like, something got to change. It happened early in my life. I was actually 15 when all of that stuff just kind of, the consciousness shifted. And I was just like, it's time for a change. So I started to do a lot of research. I started to do a lot of meditating and just figuring out what was my purpose in life. And,
Mm,
I figured it out. I was like, I just got to change. I got to change my subconscious program, and I gotta read certain things. I gotta do certain things to change how I view myself and the world in general. So
yeah.
positive thinking, I use positive thinking on a daily basis in every situation. I try not to look at anything as like a failure or I look at everything as a lesson. I don't try to argue with people too much. I don't try to um force anything to happen. I just kind of try to flow with, life in general. I don't like to force things because, it drains my energy, and I like to keep
Mm,
a high positive energy, so I can give it to other people and put it into what I want to come back to me, which is positive energy.
mm. No, that's dope.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Jalil, what you got to say on that?
Okay, so my name is Jaleel Thompson. I am a certified life coach, and I transform people's lives daily. And it's so important when it comes to positive thinking to know the opposite of that, negative thinking, and what negative thinking does to your mental psyche and the impact that it has. And for a long time growing up, I operated thinking negatively from my circumstance, from the labels that people placed on me, to the limitations that I placed on myself. And I didn't understand what was going on around me, but it forced me through the negative to have to be positive to get a result. And so, I'm an analogy guy. I always use different analogies to make my point come across. So, what I wanted to do was take a quick couple seconds and talk about negative thoughts and what it can do to a person. So let's just say, for instance, that we're all in a forest and we're walking through, let's say we're in the safari and the tiger steps onto our path. When this happens, our brain will register a negative emotion immediately. In that case, it will be
Mm-hmm.
fear. So then the negative emotion, it'll program our brain to do a specific action. So when that tiger crosses our path, for example, we may run. And at that point, the rest of the world doesn't matter. We're focused on entirely getting away from that from that
Surviving.
tiger
I'm trying to
and trying
survive.
to survive. In other words,
Yeah.
that negative emotion, it then narrows your mind and it focuses your thoughts. At the same moment, you may have the option to climb a tree, pick up a leaf, grab a stick, or whatever the case may be, but your brain ignores all of those options because they seem irrelevant to what's standing in front of you. And so when it comes to that, now we interject that thing where we call a why. Well, what's your why? Well, what's the reason why you would have a positive mind? What's the why and what's the driving force behind it if you don't accomplish that why? And so then it forces you to shift to a positive state of being. Whereas when I really want something and I just focus on that, now I have different things working on my side. I have the law of attraction working on my side. I have the I am what I believe in myself working on my side. And it doesn't matter about my circumstance because I have a why inside of me that's so big that it's making me non-negotiable to any problem, to any circumstance and what I'm seeing currently in front of me. So it's just a different mindset and it's a shift. And a lot of times it comes from being in such a dark, negative place. It comes from being the
Mm-hmm.
opposite of thinking positive. And then when you are able to shift from the negative to a positive, a result happens. Something happens. You get something, you gain something, and now you can teach somebody else the same thing that we're doing right now. And then it's important to use certain words and it's important to not use other words. So one word that I
Yeah.
speak against using is try. That's a word
Mm-hmm.
that's not in my vocabulary only because it's not a real word. Try is almost like fear. It's false evidence of being real because we're either going to do
Mm-hmm.
it or we're not. If I tell myself I'm going to go home and make something to eat, it's no trying that. I'm either going to make it or I'm not. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times when we take on that word, try to attack anything, we're already coming from a negative positive. We're already coming from a negative point of view because people only use try when they don't think that they're going to be able to do it.
And I really want to hop on there once you finish what you're saying.
Right. So if I know that I can only bench press 200 pounds, but it's 400 pounds, then I can say I'm going to try to bench press this 400 pounds because I know I'm probably not going to be able to. But go ahead, Justin. You got it.
So a thing about trying. So I've always said I'm gonna just try. I'm gonna just try and do it, and I've never been able to accomplish it until I start saying, "All right, look, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I don't care how it's gonna happen. I don't care, what the details are. I'm gonna just do it." And I'll tell this story. So I was watching a video from a guy. His name is Dre Baldwin or Dre All Day, and he was talking about the fear of failure and like Jaleel was saying, we tend to use try when we don't believe that we can achieve something. He was basically telling us to stop saying try. If you put yourself in a position where you have to succeed, you will succeed. So if there's a cliff, right, and you got to jump 5 feet to get to the other side of the cliff, you're either going to fall in the middle, which is very unlikely because 5 feet is not that much, or you're going to succeed and get to the other side of the cliff. If you say, I'm going to get that girl, it doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter who's in my way, it doesn't matter what, no, it doesn't matter nothing. You're going to go get that girl because you're going to put yourself in a position where you have to succeed or else.
I agree.
Right. Nah, facts. I actually want to bring up something, both you guys, Justin and Jaleel. So a couple times we brought up law of attraction, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us know law of attraction, but
I feel like I know
majority
where you're
of
going.
yeah,
Okay.
let's go. So a lot of us know law of attraction, right? Because it's everywhere, the secret, all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people haven't tapped into law of vibration yet. So the primary law is actually law of vibration.
Mm-hmm.
So the law of attraction is secondary,
Mhm.
right? So what happens is a lot of times we could say things, but our emotions are stronger than the words. So if you say I am powerful, but you don't feel that, the feeling is what
It's weak.
right. The feeling is what holds more power or more weight than the saying,
Mhm.
right? So I tell a lot of people rewire yourself and how you feel. And how you do that is the simple little things. Going to the gym, walking, feeling good, taking a shower, meditating, simple things that just that change your mood, right? And when you change your mood and you put momentum behind it, right? When you do three things that make you feel good, now you're wired differently.
Mm-hmm.
Now you call your mom, you just keep doing little things because we think it's the biggest things in the world. It's not.
The
Just
small things.
keep doing simple little things that keep wiring you, that keep the momentum building. So law of vibration is something that I think a lot of people should start studying more, understanding more, because we know what law of attraction is. You speak it into existence, you believe it. That is dope. But the primary one is law of vibration, where you have to feel those things. You can't say something and they contradict it with your actions and your
Right.
feelings.
So I thought you were gonna say the law of detachment, but I'm
That
gonna
one
say
too.
this. I
Powerful. That
think
one too. That one's closer to law of attraction. The law
yeah.
of vibration, the emotions is very strong.
So me and Jalil were talking about this yesterday. So I was saying that I'm glad you brought up the law of vibration. I was saying that you can only implement the law of attraction when you use the law of attraction and the law of detachment all at the same time.
Right.
But what you just said, it made me think you got to use the law of vibration, the law of attraction, and the law of vibration and attraction are kind of one and the same, but you got to use all three at the same time in order to get the desired outcome. Because once you detach from the result, the outcome, that's when you can just allow the universe to work how it works, to allow the thing that you are trying to attract to come
Right.
to you. The only way that you can get what you want is to detach from the outcome.
So let me bring up this point, and I'm glad that we're on this topic. So when it comes to the law of vibration, I have a few examples of why it's important to exercise the vibration behind your words and all that. And I find a lot of my clients, they always say it's power, it's life and death in your tongue. There's power in what you say, right? But it's the power is in the vibration behind what you say. And a lot of times people, what they get is the negative vibration because they really mean it when they say that. So when I'm extremely upset or I'm in a certain mood or I'm in a certain vibration and I say, man, I hate this job. I'll never be able to do this. I'm always broke. Man, I'm going to be broke the rest of my life. It's like they say it with such force and such vibration. And then when it comes to the positive things, they say it cute or they say it weak or they don't have the
Yeah.
posture like, yeah, man, I'm going to be rich. Yeah, I'm going to
Right.
money. And it sounds good, but it's not enough power in the vibration through for them to release it. That's why it seems like they are veering more in the negative stuff. Why does the negative stuff always happen versus the positive?
Right.
Because the vibration behind
Right.
it. When you say I hate you, you meant that.
Right. There's
You
emotion behind it. There's a powerful
Mm-hmm.
emotion.
exactly. And a lot of people, they have to know how to shift. They have to know how to shift it. So now I take that same energy and I say, I'm gonna be rich. I will never be broke again.
Right, even that vibration in itself is giving me goosebumps. I'm
Yes.
like, what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like you can feel that
Like you feel
energy.
the passion, you feel it,
Right,
you
you
feel
can
the
feel
energy.
it. And it changes the whole room.
Yes.
We're not even in the same room right now, and I felt that. I'm not even joking with you. I swear to God, I got hyped.
Yes.
I'm not even joking. When
I
you
was just
feel
about to scream and I was just left.
right,
Yes.
exactly. So when you feel that energy, so it's like everything are in the same state. You get the negative, but you can also get the positive if you put that same energy into it, if you put that same emotion into it. And that's why I brought up the law of vibration, because like you guys were saying, detachment, attraction, all of them are needed,
Right.
right? But the one that holds the most emotion, the ones that holds the most strength and energy, is the one that weighs more than the other ones. So we need to understand that emotion is very powerful and we can change it very easily. Like,
So
go
go ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
So on the law of vibration, right? Like he was just saying about I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna be
Right,
strong, all of that.
right,
Like affirmations only work, and I've come to realize that affirmations only work when you have the confidence behind it, the passion,
right,
that strong energy. It can only work if you have like I'm gonna be rich, like I'm gonna be successful. Like
right,
you gotta say it to yourself in the mirror or wherever you are. You gotta say it out loud. You can't say I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna be
right,
successful.
right,
That's just like how motivational speakers, like a guy like ET, he
right,
can capture a room. He can enchant a room
right,
by his presence, by his passion. Like you can't be a motivational speaker and just be like, yeah, you're gonna be good, y'all gonna be successful. You know what I'm saying?
right,
You gotta do this, you gotta do that. You gotta be like, you're gonna be successful.
right,
You're gonna be strong. You gotta put in the work. Like you gotta be passionate about what you're talking about, or else it's not gonna really hold any weight, and thus you're not gonna get what you want to get.
Right.
right. 100%. Your affirmations only work when you work. You gotta make them
Mm-hmm.
work, right? Another thing, and I always bring this back, like perspective is everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I go in the bathroom right now and I do it in front of the mirror and
Yep.
everything, right? Now, when you say it, when you feel it, you also got to prepare for it. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't. A lot of people forget the preparation, the steps
Come
behind
on
it,
now.
right? So they say I posted yesterday. Prayer. Patience is one thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Waiting for it, but between the prayer and when you're getting it, the most important part is the in between. How are you
Mm-hmm.
feeling? How are you preparing for it? So we pray and then we prosper, right? So between the
Mm-hmm.
prayer and the preparing is the most important part, because yes, you prayed for it, but what are your actions and feelings saying now? Are you praising God in the hallway when you're waiting for doors and opportunities to
Mm.
open? Are you reminding yourself of the positivity and everything? So right now,
Mm.
if I go in my bathroom and I say in front of the mirror, when I leave, I gotta keep that same
Mm.
energy.
Yes.
I can't leave and be like, oh man, F life, man. What?
Yes.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
contradiction. It don't make sense.
Yes.
You got to keep that same energy, and that's why energy
So
is so powerful to me.
Mm-hmm.
so it sounds like you about to say something, Jalil. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I'm vibing with what he's saying, and it's just so
Uh,
key. But one thing I was going to say for all the viewers that's listening, when we are three different guys from different backgrounds that are different ages. I'm 38, Justin
Right,
is 16, you know,
right.
so,
And I'm
and he's
28.
28. So it's
whoa.
do different things, and so
Right,
for me, like what gives us the ability to be able to think positively and have the power behind it. It's the stuff that we've been through, the stuff that we overcome, the
right,
stuff that
Mm,
almost defeated us,
right,
but it didn't kill us. So it made us what? Stronger. And every time we went through something
right,
else,
mm,
it gave us strength and it
right,
gave us power. So with that power now, it's one thing to have power and then not know how to use it. It's almost like having the ingredients to make something, but you still don't know how to make
right,
it. So, what we're doing is
right,
teaching you how to use that power from all that pain, how to use that power from everything that didn't go the way that you wanted it to go to push you into something that's going to be for your destiny, that the future you is going to thank you for. And so when you see us
right,
talking passionately and we're using this, no, it's like we're living this. This is
right.
this is
mm.
it's
It's
a real thing.
different.
It
This is
hits
our reality.
exactly.
This
It
is what
hits
we
way
do.
different. And
Right.
yep, go
I've
ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you guys. Jaleel, how where both you guys actually, Jaleel and Justin, where were you guys born?
I
DC.
was born in DC.
DC.
Yeah,
All right, so both you guys are American,
yeah.
right? So
Mm,
perspective is everything for everybody listening. So I was born in Africa, right?
mm.
I was born in
I want to go there.
I was born in East Africa, right? Now, this alignment, this conversation, this context we're having wouldn't happen if we're not aligned,
Right.
right? We're all
Mm,
going through this energy, we're all going this through this frequency and through this experience. That's how the universe got us here, right? So with me, the most powerful thing is perspective. And I always remind people of that, right? So I was born in East Africa, Somalia to be exact. So damn near next to where Nipsey was born. So he was born in Eritrea. Eritrea and Somalia are right next to each other. So grew up in Kenya, Nairobi, majority of my young life. So the first 8 years of my life, I stayed in Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya.
Mm,
How we grew up, right, and the things we saw and the opportunities we had was so different from this side of
mm.
the world. Mind you, I'm a father of
mm,
two right now,
Wow. Hmm.
right? I have I have a 3 year old and a 1 year old. My 3 year old is eating mashed potatoes in front of the TV, lounging. When
mm,
I was 3 years old, I was running around the streets of Africa, trying to
mm.
survive, trying to do anything to keep life going, you
Wow.
know? Of course, my parents took care of things and everything, but it was different because we didn't have the TVs and the necessities of phones. So outside was life to us. Going around and doing whatever we got to do, whether we're making money, whether we're selling water, whatever it may be, that was life to us. So when I came on this side of the world, right? Mind you, electricity wasn't what it is now back then. So we would be in the houses around 7
Mm,
p.m. Imagine
Mm,
in Canada and America if life shut down 7 p.m. The majority of our work we do from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. A lot of us don't sleep till 1 a.m. or
right.
something, right? So if you take away the 7 p.m. to 1 a.m., that's a whole chunk of our life. So over there, we have that disability, I would say, right? Where we have to go sleep early. It's a blessing to wake up early, but there's a lot of time that we don't do other stuff. So when I
Mm.
came to this side of the world and I seen that we have electricity, fridges, heat, just things that are needed,
It's
but
all the utilities and
right,
stuff like that.
everything that makes us so comfortable. I'm like, yo, this is sweet.
mm.
This life is sweet, man. And a lot of people like when you have all this, you have health, you have hospitals, schools, everything, yet people don't really understand because they haven't been exposed to
Exposed.
different.
Yep.
Mm.
And that's
So
why
yeah,
traveling is so important. Go ahead.
so yeah, I was just thinking, I was just when you said how we all just like somehow just align with each other, I was like, yo, that really is crazy how, let me tell the story about how I met Jalil.
All
So
right.
I was doing a pop-up shop
Yeah.
and my mom told me that there's this little, it was an Eventbrite thing, and Eventbrites are pretty much random, like event pop-up shops are just like kind of random. You go in there and you just see stuff.
Yeah.
So, I was originally going to be late. I wasn't even about to show up at first because I was going to be late.
Yeah.
So, but I eventually got there on time, and I set my booth up, and I was standing around, and Jalil and another guy, I don't remember him, but the other guy, they came up to my booth, and Jalil, I guess he saw that I wasn't being
Y-
how
Your
can I
posture
explain it?
was
Like
weak.
into it.
Yeah, I didn't look confident or
Right.
or passionate about what I was talking about
The
Yeah.
or what I was
vibration was
doing.
off.
Yeah.
So yeah, the vibration was off, but we were still
Mhm.
aligned at the same time. But so he basically came and talked to me. The other guy, I don't remember what he said, but his delivery was completely off, so I didn't really listen to him.
Yeah.
But Jalil stayed and talked to me and told me that I needed to go out there and I needed to be confident about what I was talking about. I needed to be and what is it, enthralled in what I was
Mhm.
talking about,
Yeah.
passionate.
Yeah.
So, he said that really lit a fire under me, and I went out there and I was talking with passion. I was like, yo, I'm a 16-year-old business owner. I got a clothing line. I'm right around the corner.
Yeah.
Come check me out. Come follow me on Instagram. Blah blah blah. I'm just going out to people and just telling them about who I am and what I do.
Yeah.
And then that's when I went back to my booth. I didn't see him for a little while after that, but he eventually came back
Yeah.
and we got to talking. And I was like, he got like some type of vibe to him. Like he got this aura,
Right.
like this very spiritual aura. And I was feeling it. I was like, yo, like he seemed he seemed just like me. And this was in November of 2019, and I was still on my journey. I was still like meditating, take care of myself, relying on myself,
Right.
purpose and all that. And I was just like, hold on, this happened for a reason. Like I met this guy for a reason.
Right.
And after that, we built a relationship. We've been talking ever since. He's been coaching me, and he's given me nothing but great advice, great coaching. You know what I'm saying? It was basically like a blessing. It was just like, the universe works certain things out and puts certain people into your life for a reason.
Right.
It was either to make you grow or to learn something.
Right.
And he's helped me grow and learn something, from meeting him. And it's just crazy how we all just came together. And like I have this belief that, you know what I'm saying, if it wasn't meant to happen, it wasn't gonna happen. If it was meant to happen, then it will happen.
Right.
You
Nothing
know?
can stop that.
Yeah.
Yo,
I don't believe
I
in
have
coincidences.
I have something. I have a topic for both of you guys, right? Jalil, since you're a life coach and everything, I'm sure you know this, and Justin, I'm sure you know this, and you're gonna go through this
Okay.
as well, right? Um, Exposure and like earlier we brought up exposure, like not knowing things till you're exposed
Right.
to it, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of my thing, especially with my brand and with my life and everything, um, a lot of life coaches tell you what to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? But don't explain a lot of what's coming so you can understand it more. And I'll give
Mm-hmm.
you an example of it, right? So, um, it was it was March 28th of 2018. So about 2 years ago, a little more than 2 years ago, is when I started tapping into the mind and reprogramming my subconscious mind, right? 21 days to change a habit, 66 days to reprogram your subconscious mind. So I took a class that was 67 days for love, peace, happiness, and reprogramming the subconscious mind. So in the midst of that, I work in the oil field, right? So I fly 4 times a month. I'm a family man, a father, a husband. Um, I take care of the bills. I take care of everything. I travel a lot. I work crazy hours, and in the midst of that, I'm growing a popular brand and also tapping in with the people in an
Mm-hmm.
authentic way, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I was doing this class, 66-day class, and in the middle of it, about 30 days into it, something that a lot of people don't tell you is I'm at work, nothing wrong with my family, nothing wrong with my health, my life, nothing, and just a slap of anxiety and depression hits,
Yeah.
right? Now, let me tell you this. To a normal person, they'll think, what's wrong with me, right? To a person who's more aligned, if they are aligned and if the universe does allow them to understand a little bit better, it's actually a sign of growth.
Mm.
You have to go through the confusion and the pain to understand that you're
Yep.
growing. Not
It's like exposure therapy.
right, not everything, not every pain or every situation is a bad thing, and that's where labeling fucks us up. Like we label things so fast that we don't even give it time to
Right.
understand.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through that situation where like I'm at work and I'm really depressed. Like I'm going through a lot. Like I don't know where it's coming from. So what I did is I left work, flew back to Seattle, Washington, where I live,
Mm-hmm.
flew back to Seattle, Washington, and I just chilled with the family, right? I just took some time off, got my energy right, just changed the environment that I was in, went to go see my kids, and of course that will make you a
Right.
lot happier. I brought that up to say, now, Justin, since you're 16,
Mm-hmm.
so if you go through something like that, a young 16-year-old man, and I went through that at 26, right? Like it's hard for a young man to understand that it's a sign of growth. It just doesn't even make sense, right? So for us that went through it, the coaches, the people who are inspiring, we gotta give that feedback
Right.
to them. We got to make them
Mm-hmm.
understand and expose to them that yo, going through some type of pains is not a bad thing. Because every
Definitely
time,
not.
yeah, every time we think that we're going through pain or that we're not even just pain, I would say unknown circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
we label it as bad. You never knew how to walk when you were a baby, but we never forced it. We never said it's a bad thing. When you fell, you never
Mm-hmm.
gave up. So we got to go through everything to understand and expose ourselves more so we can grow. So I say that to say, man, like when you're reprogramming the mind, when you're growing, when you're advancing, when you're reaching levels that you never reached before, the subconscious mind is going to remind you of everything you went through and give you hard times so it can hold you back. But
Mm-hmm.
the pain is going to make you understand that you're
Yes.
actually growing, that you're one step
So
closer to where you need to be.
so I want to hop on that real quick. So like you were saying about going through the unknown, Jaleel asked me yesterday, and I didn't even really have an answer. He asked me, so basically, you're telling all these people about the podcast, and you're teaching them about certain things, but how can they actually go through the process themselves?
Right.
And because
Yeah. Hello.
for them
Okay.
to
Yeah, he's going to come back.
reprogram their subconscious mind than others. And I was like,
Yeah.
you
Right.
it was three things. It was patience, discipline, and the basically the work and the desire to become a better person, to have a stronger mind, to have a
Right.
better life. And it was really hard for me to figure out how can I actually teach them and show them how they can do it themselves, how they can better themselves, because it's harder for
Right.
people if they were told since basically birth that they weren't going to be anything, or that they was going to be in the hood forever, that
Right.
they weren't going to be, they couldn't do what they really wanted to do, like they had to work an office job or be a work in a restaurant. They couldn't
Right.
be a doctor, lawyer, business
Mm.
owner. Some people like they have this.
Right.
Like I've been talking about this and thinking about this a lot. Black people, especially, they believe that they only have like three options, and that's to go play basketball or play ball somewhere, um,
Right.
rap,
Rap.
rap, sell drugs,
Right.
or working like
Right.
McDonald's or something like that. You know, they've been
Right.
programmed for so long, and
Right, but that's also what
mm-hmm,
we've been exposed to our whole life, right? So like we don't know any better if you don't step out of it. So what the thing that I did, I'm gonna let Jaleel talk. The thing that I did when I had my first
mm-hmm,
child, his name's Amir, right? Amir stands for Prince. It starts from before the kid is even before our children are
Right.
even in our life, right? So the way I structured my life, like, yeah, let me tell you
Mm-hmm.
guys something, right? When I say the brand, me, what I stand for is different. Like I
mm-hmm,
really mean it, right? First aspect was Africa, right? So I went back to Africa when I was 14 years old to visit my grandmother. So in the midst of that, it was a bad timing that I went. There was a lot of wars and everything going. I was stopped three different times and and got an AK-47 to my head,
Mm.
put to my head. So I looked down the barrel of an AK-47 three different times at the age of 14 years old,
Wow.
right? So when I came back to Canada, I escaped out. I paid them off, and the bus
mm-hmm,
driver paid them off. When I came back to Canada, I was like, "Yo, if I'm still alive, it's for a reason." That was the first aspect of it. Second was never in my life have I done any drugs, any type of drugs. Never smoked cigarette, never smoked weed, never drank in my life. The reason for that is I'm not doing anything that's gonna distract me or put me in a different path than success
I
and
really don't
happiness.
like drugs for a lot of reasons. It ain't even really just personal.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because I think that a lot of
Right.
people use drugs, like especially like weed, drugs that